could come in, you could print out something at home, and you could put that under the barcode reader, and you could do a lot of pre-sales that way.
Wonderful. Well, no, so okay. So how do we? I mean, I like the idea on August 1st.
August 1st. Do we negotiate directly now with?
Well, that was the question.
Right.
Council, did you get a chance to?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a perspective on this, and I think you can. As I understand it, we did an RFP process. We got responses, and Core Cashless seemed to be the company we wanted to work with, and that's fine. Going forward, at this phase, as I understand it, what we're looking to do is use their software, and whatever we're doing is less than $20,000. So if that is in fact the case, then we're compliant with the procurement policy. Going forward next year, however, if we're going to do a more significant capital investment, that would have to be put out to bid. So, and I'm assuming whoever drafts the specifications for the bid would have.
Wait, sorry, just let me understand. Why do I have to put it out, rebid the contract?
I'm sorry?
Why do I have to rebid the contract?
Because you're going to be spending a significantly more amount, it'd be more than $20,000.
I understand that, but we bid the contract. Didn't we put this out?
No, you did on an RFP, and software is often considered a professional service. It's not quite the same as building a building or buying.
You don't need to put bids out for professional service?
No, you don't. You've done the right thing. You've done the RFP process, and for this stage of the plan, you're under the $20,000, which was the bid number. So I would say you can go ahead with Core Cashless for this summer and do what you plan to do. After the summer, if you're happy with this and you want to make a more significant investment, that will have to be bid for next year.
Please, Christina.
Okay?
Clarify something.
Oh.
One of the things that we had talked about, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, is
Paul, stay there. Paul, stay there.
some of the staff had expressed that they really like Core's operating system. And so that might have been the conversation that you were in on. Can't we just buy their software up front and then later on install the whole system? Is that what you were referring to by the first piece would be under $20,000, but the big nut would require a second step?
Right.
But I don't know that Commissioner Salanitro, when we had our meeting, if we came out one way or another on whether we should stagger it or just do it all at once.
I think the subsequent number that we're talking about tonight is based upon an email communication from Bishop to Core Cashless on integrating the existing system. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's where that number comes from.
Well, yeah, but wait.
I don't know what that number really means as far as the proposal is being answered.
Hold on. I mean, but why? Are we? Is it? Why would we have as the gate?
Can I contribute?
Yes, go ahead and contribute, Mr. Minogue.
Okay.
What if we say no?
You're saying?
Well, the discussion evolved around the fact that the RFP was out there. The RFP had a series of costs. I think Commissioner Salanitro indicated that in addition to the $118,000 that was identified in the RFP, there were also Town Park costs for implementing a lot of the hardware type of stuff. I think we estimated about $75,000. The thought process there was that was a significant construction project. You'd have to be bringing electricity and all kinds of things in addition to installing the various arms and so forth. The computers we have, turns out, are 100% compatible. All of the equipment we have is 100% compatible with the software that Core Cashless has. We've sent them the specifications. They've indicated that certainly, they could configure their software to run on that equipment. They had no problem with it. So one of the thoughts was to be able to bring Core Cashless in quickly was use their software. Get them in here, have them live with us for a few months, learn a little bit about what we do, what some of the vagaries of the park are. They could then help us configure the right hardware approaches so that we're not stumbling around or we're not building something that may or may not work. They would be there. And we would benefit from them literally from day one. So that was the concept there. They have repriced it. It is 19,000 and change, which includes minimal, and I mean minimal hardware. We do have to buy one backup server, but the rest of it is configuration.
Well, is this a, sorry, thank you, Bishop, I think thank you for that. Is this the unanimous recommendation of the Commission, or, let me ask you this question a little differently. I'm a little reluctant to, have them come in, and then what happens if you do a bid next year and they're the high-cost provider and you can't use them, then you sort of wasted the money this year. So my question is, if we rebid, or we bid, I guess, however you want to characterize it, is there still time to get them in for August 1? In other words, it seems to me if we're March 15th, if we bid, I would have thought that there still would have been time to get them in for the full Monty for August 1st.
Yeah, I don't think we really, Bishop brought up this point, and I think it's a very good point, but we were not unanimous as to whether that was the way to go. And, Mayor Pilla has the expertise in IT, and so we talked about, does it really make sense, what we would implement now wouldn't be 100% of what we would implement perhaps if the whole system were put in at once. It may not lend itself to a piecemeal application. I was thinking maybe costs would go up, between now and September possibly. And I guess, and also Mayor Pila had thought that the capital expenditures or the installation costs that would have to be borne outside of the proposal were more in the range of $35,000 to $50,000 and not $75,000. So there wasn't really consensus on that either. But that was something we thought should be explored over the summer. Look at the proposal and fully cost it out so the Commission knows what the sort of hidden costs might be.
Here's the real question. I mean, the base proposal was $111,000.
Right.
Could we, if we wanted to, award that proposal? No. Because, as I had thought, GML requires a bid document, not a proposal, or request for a proposal is different. So I think what we try to do is say, how do we expedite using our existing equipment and a cashless system? And I think Core came back, through email at least, communication, that they could do that. So that would be the initial step if we wanted to integrate our existing system expeditiously. If we want to take a step back, digest what we've already digested and say, let's do a bid document that is detailed with everything that we've spoken about on Friday, and do a bid, and then come back.
How long does that take?
But that's not going to be ready for, you're going to be ready, if you're lucky for August, maybe September.
And that's really very ambitious, because it takes 60 days, because I remember what Core Cashless said the last time. It took 2 months, so if you wanted September 1st, then you'd have to have everything awarded by July, and to get it back.
So basically...
Well, how long does an RFP have to be out there?
The bid is a minimum of 7 days.
So why don't we just turn around in 7 days? I mean,
Well, it's going to take some time to actually
you
do
got to
the
do
bid.
the
We don't have the specifications for the actual bid document itself.
Well, but also,
You're right.
sorry, go ahead.
No. I wouldn't be concerned if Core Cashless works on this basis. We would draft a bid spec that would conform to what you're really looking for in terms of what you did this summer. So it's not, and you only have to accept the lowest responsible bidder, and it has to be the one that meets the specifications. And not everybody would be able to meet the specifications. So,
Well, we're not looking to make a decision tonight, are we?
I don't know. I don't get a vote on that.
What?
I don't get a vote. No.
No, okay, well, I would have, it sounds to me, it sounds to me that, let me suggest this as I'd like to, if we could, ask the group, the bid evaluation group to come with a recommendation, or at least options for the next board meeting. I don't know. In other words, the option that was described, starting August 1st, less than $20,000 and go out to bid. Another option would be if we decided to do a formal bid, what the anticipated time process would be and when they could get started. Unless we know all that information, maybe I don't want to create.
Our vote would be create a short RFP, a week or two, and get the ball rolling. I mean, I don't know that the system that we have at the park, you could say, are they going to really, is what they proposed really appropriate for us? And we're only going to find that out once they get to know us. And I would argue they know plenty of operations that are very similar to ours, and I feel very confident that they're going to come up with something that's very much like what we have. And so I feel like you're taking risk that something else might, the prices might come back higher. I don't see any reason to delay.
So your recommendation would be go straight to bid?
Yeah.
Okay. And your recommendation, I think, is a little bit different.
I'd like to add another piece of information for the commission.
Well, just I want to, but your recommendation is different, as I understand that. Is that correct? Or are you?
I'm in favor of going ahead with the software implementation, and I'll tell you why. April 1st is when we want to be operational and we want to start pre-season parking and so forth. May 1st, we have to have our computers in and ready to go and everything else. Core cashers can do that in the span of 2 to 3 weeks with a software implementation because we have 95% of the hardware already here. They've already certified that the hardware is in fact compatible with their software. Now, if I don't do that, I then have to take IUG, which is our vendor from last year. I have to pay them to install the existing system. I have to pay them the software licensing fees for this year. If we're going to be using the software licensing that's there, I'm looking at an expense that's around $12,000 just to use IUG and do exactly what we did last year.
I thought you said on Friday you already paid them, though. You've already set them up for this year.
The software licensing fee is an annual fee that has to be paid. The installation of the equipment is an annual fee that has to be paid. These are just annual.
Okay, so what's
what I'm trying to get to is you're on the hook for $12,000 and you're going to do exactly the same thing that you did last year.
Yeah, but so the question.
$20,000, actually $19,000.
But just
you
let me
can move forward and get yourself ready with a brand new vendor.
But to understand, are you saying that if we hired Core Cashless, we would not have to spend $12,000?
That's correct.
Okay. So, there's, as a commission, I don't know what the rest of the commissioners feel. As somebody sitting here, there seems like there's a lot of different optionality floating around, and it doesn't sound to me like there's a consensus.
Well, I think, just for clarification, the fact that we already invested over $50,000 in the existing system 2 years ago, I know that Commissioner Pillow was concerned that it might be outdated. It might not be worth investing more money towards it. But that was a statement that was made. We already invested $50,000. I think what Bishop is saying, what Core is saying, is that if you started from scratch with Core, that $50,000 has to be regenerated, where you can still use it. You might get a couple of years out of it, but the updates, the annual fees, and everything have to be paid. Core Cashless, by the way, is $17,000.
I'm not going to make a decision.
No. What I'm trying to say that there's initial savings.
I need a comprehensive. I want to thank everybody for all their hard work, but unless somebody in the commission overrules them or has a different view, I need a comprehensive understanding of the situation, which says, I say if we go with Core Cashless today at 19, I save $12,000. It's net $7,000, and these are the advantages. And then that's one scenario. And the other scenario is to go straight to bid, and that will take this. So, I just don't see that we have a coherent recommendation that it has the consensus of the group, but maybe that's what I'm hearing.
My thought would be, and I appreciate that there's different options out there. I would lean towards just going straight to bid, and if that's an option that is not going to happen tonight, but maybe at the next meeting, I think we should at least start drafting that now so that we have it ready to go at the next meeting.
Well, let me ask you. There is certainly a time element to this. And Mr. Noda, maybe you can help me with this. I would be happy to, if the group got together and came up with a recommendation for, say, next Tuesday, I'm just throwing this out, if we could get a quorum, and the other commission members were happy to say, yes, let's meet for this one specific topic next Tuesday, then I think we meet the time, we give the committee group to come up with recommendations and make a more coherent proposal. I'm perfectly happy to, come back, and I know a lot of people. I know some people have exactly, but would you mind terribly, Mayor Feinstein, if?
No, I would. Once I could give my input.
Oh, great! You could give a proxy to.
I can't give a proxy, but I could.
Sure.
Could tell you what the concerns would be. Yeah, I would not be able to make next Tuesdays.
Well, we could meet in the morning too. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I think it'd be a half an hour meeting, but. Certainly, there's nothing legally. We can certainly do that, correct? Legally,
you could meet anytime as long as you notice it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm reluctant to make a decision tonight. I'm reluctant to wait for a month. Yeah. So it could be next Monday as far as if next Monday works. Actually, I'm not down here next Monday, but again, I don't have to be here.
Right. I mean, it's tough because we.
When we left the meeting Friday, we had a consensus, and the commissioners involved, I thought, were on board with that consensus. So apparently, in the last few days, that's unraveled. But we're happy to keep meeting.
But when is is the commission, Mayor Feinstein, are you happy for us to meet and provide your input ahead of the meeting next Tuesday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we can even meet in the morning.
I'm actually, I'm out of town. I'm in Phoenix at a conference.
Next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, yeah.
How can you meet in the morning next Tuesday?
What's the date of the meeting?
It's the 22nd. Can you gentlemen meet in the morning?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mayor French?
Yep.
Why don't we try and meet next Tuesday morning, as early as you guys want?
Early.
Yeah. I mean, 7:30?
And I can give my proxy to Mayor French, I imagine, as well?
Yes, absolutely, yes, sure.
Well, no, we don't vote by proxy.
No, okay, well, what do we have a court? He'll know how you
But
feel.
I don't know how you feel, but he can't.
But your concerns will be known.
So, you got 7:30 next Tuesday?
But regardless of who we pick, we have to go out for a bid anyway.
We didn't know that till
The other problem you got, if you start with a $20,000 software, who's going to write the specs that are going to compete with cores? You're going to have any bidders coming on the second trend of this thing. They're going to be locked into the specs of the second go-round.
So, okay, 7:30 next Tuesday then. So how do we need to vote? Just notice it. Okay, so we'll meet, and then does that give you guys time to re-achieve consensus?
We'll try. As long as we're talking about meetings, our next meeting in April is April 19th. It's a religious holiday, so it will
can we
not
move
be.
it to the 28th? But that conflicts with
You mean the 26th?
The 26th. That conflicts with your...
Yeah, we'll have my budget vote that night, so that would totally be a problem.
You want to be here, then you don't want to be there. Well, we'll talk about... Let's just...
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that.
We're here, 7:30 on the 22nd?
7:30 on the 22nd.
Okay. In the morning?
In the morning, 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, Goldie, come on up.
One of the major problems I have here is that we should not be conflicting with Playland. Playland is a neighbor next door, and when we walk our boardwalk in Oakland Beach, we can walk right into Playland, but they can walk back into us. They can also park in our area or park there. If we're going to have higher parking fees than Playland, then we have a problem. We have a problem. They may not even come here. They may not even come on our beach. They'll go on the Playland beach. So I'm going to tell you something. Before you discuss anything, find out what everything is going on in Playland and put the gate up there so that people from Playland don't come into Oakland Beach. Okay? Because we have Seaside Johnny's there. And people come to Seaside Johnny's and they park. They take up parking for the people who want to only come with their children on the beach. Okay, there are big problems there, so you have to understand that. We need a reserve, yes, we do, because only God knows what the weather is going to be like. And the weather in 2010, toward the end of the year, was horrible. Was horrible. Brought down a lot of trees, it brought down a lot of things all over the place. They created all kinds of problems. We need that reserve there. So in case, God forbid, you have to have more money, there's a reserve to take it from. Okay. But please, Do not do anything with the parking until you find out what's going on at Playland. Okay? That would make a big problem for Oakland Beach.
Okay. Well, Playland's going to be business as usual this summer, and most likely next summer as well.
Well, they open up in the spring.
Right.
They open up for Mother's Day. They open up in the spring. They open up even sometimes before. It depends upon the board. That board makes the decisions, and that's what goes on. But we as people can either park at Rye Town Park or Oakland Beach, or we can park in Playland if it's cheaper.
Right.
Okay, so please, we're right there. So make sure that nothing you do conflicts or makes things more expensive than Playland.
Okay.
Mayor French, you want to do items 9 and 10?
Yep, new business. Number 9.
Chairman Beck.
Well, there,
We tried to usurp you.
frankly, we covered the new business, which was the, I think, 3 items of correspondence.
Okay. Any old business from the commission?
And I don't know if there's anything.
Just the dog policy that we've talked about it. I think we need clarification, and I hope to have something for this meeting, but we'll have it for the next meeting for the commission to consider.
Just the last thing then, to agree a date for the April meeting.
If you want to keep it, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know in case anyone else is
No,
here.
well,
and the reasons why.
so it's, actually, we're going to be moving the Rye Town meeting till April 28th in any case.
28th Tuesday or Thursday?
That's a Tuesday.
I can't.
No, so I'm saying, so I'm wondering about the 27th would be a village meeting for
Well,
Dennis, wouldn't
26th
it?
is Tuesday.
Right, no, so the 25th, sorry, so the 25th, so how about that Wednesday?
The 27th?
Is that, when are your gentlemen's meetings? Are you guys Wednesdays?
First and third Wednesdays?
What is it?
We're Wednesdays.
Every Wednesday?
First and third.
First and third.
So that would be the 4th. Would you guys be okay for the 27th?
I think so. April 27th?
April 27th?
That's a Wednesday.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, April 27th,
Perfect.
Thank you for
Good.
coming.
Rye Town Park.
Right down Park.
Okay. And the town meeting, you're saying is the
No, I have city
28th?
council on
26th, right, 26th.
I have a
The town
down city
meeting will
council
stay
on
the 26th? I thought you
We
wanted
are.
to move
It
to
wasn't.
the meeting.
I don't know
We're
why
moving
I
it from the
have-
19th, it should have been the 19th to the
Oh,
26th.
to the 26th, okay, got it.
I guess actually we can.
Maybe because of Easter.
We'll talk about that.
Maybe you
I have
might do
us
that.
for a city council meeting on the 27th.
Well, but we start at 7:30, so maybe.
That's fine, we'll keep it quick.
Make sure
Okay,
it's
so
it's a long
not
night.
conflicting with a holiday.
I just have one
Make sure it doesn't conflict with a holiday.
We'll have to confirm
No,
that.
no.
I mean, Joe, if you put it in, you're right then. I don't.
Preseason parking on April
yeah, I mean-
2nd, what's the dog policy going to be?
What?
We're opening for preseason parking April 2nd. Can someone tell me what the dog policy?
Well, the policy is as it is now. Like, it's
Till 9 o'clock?
till 9 o'clock, but I just think we need to formalize that in writing.
Okay,
And until we change it, it's the same policy.
okay.
Or-
And then other than that, they have to be on a leash?
I think so. And that's what the rules
Absolutely,
are.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terry. Wonderful. All right, so I'll see some of you next Tuesday morning at 7:30. And then, any comments, final comments from the commissioners? Mr. Nowotnik, you want to call the roll?
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? Sorry.
okay.
Second.
Commissioner Sack,
Yes.
Commissioner Salanitro, Commissioner Feinstein,
Yes.
Commissioner French,
Yes.
Commissioner Carver.
Thank
By
you.
the way, I think to adjourn a meeting, you don't have to...
Just say all in favor, say aye. Any opposed?